Welcome to Health and Harmony Beyond the Teeth, where we dive into all subjects that will help you become healthier and happier. As a dentist, I believe dentistry is more than just teeth, so I created this show to focus on overall health. We will hear from leading experts about eating better, exercising better, breathing better, and sleeping better. We want to help you create harmony in your life so you can live your life to the fullest. We want you to thrive. Hello, welcome to Health and Harmony Beyond the Teeth. I'm Dr. Hal Stewart, and today we have part 3 of our 4-part series on nutrition. In part 1, we talked about proteins. In part 2, we talked about carbohydrates, and today we're going to talk about fats. Now, these food groups are essential to our health and well-being, just like putting gasoline in your car, putting brake fluid in your car, putting oil in your car. You can't have just one. You need a good balance of all 3 for your car to last and work properly. So we have our resident nutritional expert, Kelsey Cherne, the owner of Outlaw FitCamp in McKinney, Texas. It's called Outlaw FitCamp Mckinney. You can look it up on the internet. She's the owner and head trainer, and with her is her one of our great trainers, Betsy Paxton. So we're glad to have you guys with us again. And so today we're going to talk about fats. You know, fats are just horrible. We shouldn't eat any fats, should we, Kelsey? No fats whatsoever. We want to be lean, right?
Wrong. Actually, I have on my paper, fats do not make you fatter.
There you go. You heard it right here.
They help keep you healthy. And I kind of feel like I'm repeating the benefits of like protein, carbs, and fats because they all coincide. But fats also have a big part in our brain function, our hormonal balance, helping keep us satisfied. They also help with sleep. And I would kind of say something you talked about in our last episode, like with your car, your engine light comes on. Well, that's telling you something's wrong, right? So what's our engine light? Our engine light is if you are not sleeping well, that's your body telling you something. Something is off. It could be your nutrition, which could be leading back to your hormone balance. But I would say that is a tall telltale sign of our engine light is if our sleep is off. And then the other, your energy. Like we shouldn't.
What?
I mean, you shouldn't. Every day, it shouldn't feel like you're dragging your body through it, right? Like we should have energy. And I'm not saying you have to be like this one bouncing off the walls, but it shouldn't, like everything you do shouldn't feel like it's effort. Like it's effort to get up and go to the bathroom, and it's effort. Like if you really are feeling that sluggish, again, that's our engine light saying, okay, we need to change something here. Something's off. Typically it's food. Food is our best medicine, and it's a balance of that food though. So back to fats. Because they all work together, right? We have an engine, we have a transmission, we have like all those things make our car work. All our macros make our car work. So we have to have a balance of all of those. And I would say that the hardest part is understanding what that means. Because there's so many marketing cues, low carb, no carb, or all these high fat diets, or there's just so many things. And at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be complicated. You need protein, you need fats, you need carbs, you need clean sources. So we don't want a lot of cheese. A little bit of like white. If you do like cheese, I recommend white cheese. It's not the best. A sprinkle goes a long way, but it's okay. It's a fat. It's our best fat sources are going to be our nuts, our protein, or peanut butter, almond butter, coconut oil. Avocado is a great source. I would say the most important thing to remember with our healthy fats is, I like to say two thumbs is kind of your gauge on serving size, because they are so calorie dense that we have to be mindful and stay within that serving size, because it goes back to too much of anything is bad. So it's hard with fats, right? So, just to kind of breaking your nuts down, cashews, a healthy serving of cashews is 8. A healthy serving of almonds is 24 to 26. A healthy serving of pistachios, why they're my favorite, is like 46. But you have to be mindful of that. It's almost like a bag of chips. When you sit and just eat the whole bag of chips and don't realize the damage you've done, even though it's healthy fats, you can still do some damage if you're eating out,
Well, and you have to be careful too, because you can get almonds that are processed with a lot of salt. So you're like taking in a lot of salt, or
even sugars. They have them flavored with cinnamon and sugar and covered in chocolate.
Well, and a lot of peanut butter has added sugars to it as well. So really, the best peanut butter is just smashed up peanuts.
Right. You can do it yourself, or
and it's not as sweet, but that's the best source.
Right. Kroger and Sprouts, you can get fresh crushed peanut butter.
Yeah,
no
they
added
make
salt,
it for you
no
right
added
there.
sugar, no nothing.
How about almond butter? I use almond butter, cashew butter.
It's all great.
It's the nut that's just pressed, and so the oils come out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Our healthy fats, they help our skin. I mean, they help keep our skin healthy. They help, and of course water too helps with your skin, but they serve a purpose. Brain, appetite, satisfaction. Like it all goes full circle.
So water, if someone wants to, we've talked about staying out of the middle of the grocery store for the most part, because a lot of those products, most of those products, if not all of them, are man-made. But if someone wants to cook, they're cooking a recipe and they want to use the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of Crisco, which is lard, basically. What are some substitutes that they could use for that kind of fat, some good fats that they can substitute when they're cooking?
I recommend coconut oil.
I love coconut oil.
Olive oil is a good source, but when you expose olive oil to heat, it loses some of its properties. So olive oil is better to use like as a salad dressing, like on your salad, in a not heat exposed environment. Cooking oil or coconut oil is a little bit better to cook with. And the beauty of coconut oil is whatever you don't use, you excrete it. It doesn't stay and store in your arteries and, clog your arteries. And it's also
very tasty.
It is. And it's a good energy source. It's, a lot of on our meal plans, MCT oil, which is essentially the same thing as coconut oil. We recommend having that in the morning with your breakfast, and then midday. Some people will put it in their oatmeal. Some will put it in their coffee. But it's a good energy source.
So Kelsey, what are some good, if someone wanted to go out and say, hey, I'm going to start cooking with coconut oil, because I would really recommend it. I cook with coconut oil all the time, and I love to cook. It's just really good. It enhances the flavor of the food. It's very healthy. What are a couple of can we list some brands of coconut oil that you like?
Yes, there are a couple. So we'll list them at the bottom of the screen so you can go back and pull those up.
Awesome. So let's move on to, if you're at the grocery store and you are in the middle of the grocery store and you need to buy something that's got you're going on a vacation, you got to have something for the kids to eat. You're looking at the labels, things, what on a label, on a nutritional label on a food, what are some bad red flags when they're talking about fats?
Trans fat.
Okay.
Trying to think of what's on the food label. Really, that's the main one.
Hydrogenated
the oils. Yeah. When it comes to ingredients, I like to say if it's words you can't pronounce, it's not good. And I also like to say if there's more than 5 ingredients listed, it's not good.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, think peanut butter should be peanuts. That's all you need. Almond butter should be almonds. Yeah. You could put cinnamon in it if you want. I'll even buy the unflavored almond butter and then put pumpkin spice seasoning and mix it, because I clearly love pumpkin. But there are ways you can flavor things with spices and not have all those ingredients you can't say.
Yeah. Speaking of, we were talking about seeds or nuts as a source of oils. What about pumpkin seeds?
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. And so if, I know a lot of people have nut allergies. So kind of a swap for a nut is seeds. So like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, all of those are great sources and have healthy fats in them.
Yeah. Just don't get the ones that are flavored
raw. Just think
laden
raw.
down with salt.
Raw. You want raw.
Yeah.
That's the best. Raw, unsalted is what you want.
And when you get used to eating healthy fats, healthy carbs, the right amount of proteins, your body will really acclimate to that fairly quickly. And then you can drive through the drive-thru at McDonald's to get your kid a cheeseburger, and you'll smell the smell coming out, and you'll almost get sick at your stomach.
Yeah. But we're teaching our kids good habits, so we're not going to do that.
That's right. just your neighbor's kids that you don't like, you take them to the house.
So I will say, I was a normal teenager and 20-year-old and ate bad and liked sweets, and I just made the decision. I think I told the story. My father-in-law, our last episode, was really a driving force in changing my lifestyle so that my kids would grow up knowing a healthy lifestyle. And the first time I had raw almonds, I've been eating clean for a couple months, and I ate raw almonds. They're actually sweet. They have a sweet flavor. But if you're used to eating very sugary things, you don't get that sweetness. And even, like with your coffee, a lot of those coffee creamers are awful. They have all kinds of bad things in them. But if you just get unsweetened almond milk in a frother, we can put the link on Amazon. You'll start frothing your almond milk, and then you're going to travel with it. But actually frothing it brings out that sweetness in the almond milk. So now you have a healthy coffee creamer, and it's really just unsweet almond milk.
Yeah.
But it's kind of detoxing your body from that. And once you haven't had that, suddenly your flavors are enhanced. You're just like, wow, I've never tasted that before. It's so satisfying.
Yeah. That is so true. I was born and raised in Texas, and my mother was a great cook, and my dad was a builder. So we ate pretty much whatever we wanted to because everybody was active. We didn't sit around. But we had dessert with every meal. I mean, with breakfast, you had pancakes and syrup, or you had biscuits and jelly. And then, at lunch on the weekends, Mom would make sandwiches or whatever, but then afterwards there was cookies. Mm-hmm. So I was just born, and I was raised that when you eat a meal, you follow it with something sweet. And it took years for me to stop doing that. Not that I tried to stop doing it, but when I decided I was going to eat healthier, I stopped doing it. And now, sometimes I'll have maybe a date. I love dates. So I'll have a date or maybe 2 dates after a meal. And that's my sweet. So I don't have that craving anymore.
And I'll even tell clients, if they're having that, just have a bowl of berries, some berries, some strawberries, some blueberries, because it'll give you that sweet. But those are one of the lower glycemic index fruits. So it's just a good way to kind of make your body feel satisfied without having the bad stuff.
Those are, in our last episode about carbs, those are sources of good carbs. So like an automobile, we need gas, oil, brake fluid. In our bodies, we need carbs, proteins, and fats. So this wraps up those 3 food sources that we need. Next week, we're going to talk about supplements, or things that are in our foods, like caffeine. Most of us enjoy a drink every now and then. When to do that, what not to drink, what's the limit. We're going to talk about those and some supplements and maybe some vitamins and things like that at our next episode. But before we sign off today, we want to we want Landis, our essential oil expert, to talk about the essential oil of the day. So Landis, take it away and give us some good information there.
Thanks, Dr. Stewart. Today I'm going to talk about tea tree oil. The name for this, let me give you the plant name just to sound like I'm smart, is Melaleuca alternifolia. There are multiple types of Melaleuca, okay? But the one in tea tree is actually the one that's alternifolia. Tea tree is such a diverse product. It can be used for so many things. And we have multiple personality in our, multiple personalities in our home. And when we end up with different personalities, almost always you have, well, this one prefers this and this one prefers this. But tea tree is one that all four of us are always, referencing and using. The very first thing I think about when I think about tea tree is the product of being, even though that it's supposed to what? It's supposed to help you be less bacterial. How's that for saying that in a nice way? So it's going to reduce the amount of bacteria. So guess what? If you have a blemish, tea tree works out great. Have an abrasion, tea tree works very well. Forgot your deodorant at the hotel. Oh, tea tree, believe it or not, it works really well. So what it is doing is it is helping fight bacteria. And bacteria is what makes us stink. So that works out very well. I also know people that add tea tree to their toothpaste. I have not added tea tree to my toothpaste. I also know people that have a shampoo and they will add multiple drops of tea tree right into the shampoo. Why? It helps balance the pH of the scalp. So whether you have dry scalp or whether you have excess oil, both of those create flakes, do they not? And of course, for somebody that's dark-headed like me, that is a nightmare. Add some tea tree. When you're washing your hairdresser should tell you that you're actually not washing your hair. You're cleaning your scalp, which is why when they wash your hair, they always do this motion because they're actually cleaning your scalp. Your hair will become clean as a byproduct, but they're cleaning your scalp. Do that with the tea tree in your shampoo. And guess what? You're going to help create a balanced pH. And what is that going to do? It's not going to be too oily. It's not going to be too dry. So you're able to do that. I have teenage sons and have done this with both of them. It works wonderfully. So again, whether it be, babies, whether it be adults, and actually tea tree can be used with regarding pets too. Let's say that they have, I don't know, another dog bit them or they have a cut that's gotten infected. Young Living will tell you to never apply this directly to a cut. I'm going to tell you my personal testimony that I have put it straight on that abrasion, straight on that cut, and never had any problem. If it's too hot for you, meaning spicy or burns, add some coconut oil, add some V6, add some olive oil. That will help dilute that. But guess what other places we might have sores? Remember that toothpaste? Guess what? I have been known to take this if I have a cut and actually rub it on that cut. I'm not suggesting that we ingest it. I'm talking about a topical application. But tea tree is really very, very, very diverse. And there are so many ways that you can use it. Maybe you have a way that you use it that I haven't mentioned, or you've got questions regarding how you can use it and some ways that you can incorporate it within your home. Let me know. I have an email. I have a phone that has texting. So just drop me some information and I'll see if I can't help you. Dr. Stewart, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Landis. Appreciate it. And like we do with every episode, we end with a song picked by our guest. And so our song today, Kelsey, is what?
Watch Me Bleed. The William Wallace version.
The what Wallace?
William Wallace version.
William Wallace.
If you want to feel like a warrior, listen to this song.
Okay. Watch Me Bleed. I'm a little bit scared here. But
but I need to pull up like and embrace the pain. Embrace the pain.
Embrace the what? I want to embrace the pain.
Feel like a warrior. We're going to put a fight up against all this false marketing.
There you go. That is so true, because those of us that live and want to teach health and that we want to be examples for that, it really is, it's an uphill battle, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, don't worry about what you see out there on the advertisements and things like that. Just listen to people like Kelsey and like Betsy, who know what they're talking about as far as nutrition, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. And what my hope is that these last 3 episodes have helped you. Hope you took a notepad and took some notes of just some simple things that you can do to keep to eat healthy and put the right source of food. And food's the most potent drug we put in our body because we do it every single day. So that's so important to be putting the right things in there. So, guys, thank you so much for being with us today. And next week we'll have our 4th episode on nutrition or supplements, and just I want to talk a little bit about alcohol and how much is too much, and things like that. So I hope you'll join us next week. And for right now, this is Dr. Hal Stewart signing off. This has been Health in Harmony Beyond the Teeth. Have a great day.